An American fighter pilot lined up his guns on an American bomber over the Nevada desert. Same side, same uniform, didn't matter. He slid in behind it. Then he reached for the shot that was going to fix his whole reputation. Somewhere in the next 2 minutes, every bit of confidence he flew with leaked right out of the cockpit. The only casualty out there was a civilian nobody was even aiming at. And the guy doing the aiming somehow came out of it worse than the guy who actually got hit. It is the mid-1980s, over the Nellis ranges in Nevada. That is the patch of desert the Air Force uses when it wants to break things on purpose. Major Brett Krieger is flying the single most dangerous job in the global SHIELD exercise. It is a giant pretend war, where American crews practice fighting a real one. Real jets, real bombs, real speed. Everything live except the dying, which, as we are about to find out, is not entirely true. 2 pilots matter today. One of them is a professional. The other one is about to find out he isn't. Krieger flies the FB-111. It is a long, mean, swing-wing bomber. It was built to go very low, very fast, and drop a nuclear weapon on the most important city in the enemy country. That city is Moscow. The idea was to do it before anyone over there finished their coffee. Today, the bomb is real. It is a B-61, loaded with dead weight instead of a warhead. As it turns out, the Air Force has rules about vaporizing Nevada. His mission is to thread that jet into a heavily defended target at 200 feet and Mach 1.2. That is the absolute edge of what the airplane can do. For people who do not speak pilot, that is fast enough to strip the paint off the jet, and most of your relatives' phone numbers out of your head. He has done it 1,000 times. To him, it is a Tuesday. Then there is the other guy. Somewhere behind him, a young first lieutenant is flying an F-105 Thunderchief, and he is absolutely convinced he is the main character. We are going to use his call sign. But first you need to know how he got it, because he hates it. A few weeks earlier, this kid walked into his squadron and made a request, out loud, to grown men. He asked if everyone could please start calling him Iceman. You do not get to pick your own call sign. Asking for a cool one is like walking into prison and announcing everyone should call you Big Boss. It just tells them exactly what to say to ruin your day. So the squadron looked at the kid who begged to be Iceman, and they named him Icepick. Sharp, annoying, and nobody wants him anywhere near them. He has spent every day since trying to earn something better. During an exercise, nobody actually shoots, but you can earn a call sign. You get the target in your gun camera, and the film counts as the kill. A good enough kill gets you a better call sign. Today, Icepick thinks he's found his shot. Here is the problem. Icepick is not even supposed to be near this fight. His job in the exercise is somewhere else entirely, but he spotted Krieger's bomber crossing in front of him, and in his head, the math is dead simple. He is in a fighter. That is a bomber. Fighters kill bombers. This is the exact logic a house cat uses right before attacking a vacuum cleaner. So he peels off and goes hunting. He drops in behind Krieger. The Thunderchief is fast, one of the fastest things the Air Force ever built in a straight line. The men who flew it called it the Thud, after the noise it makes when it hits the ground. Now, he is closing on the bomber, gun camera rolling, hunting for a lock. On paper, the kid has every advantage out here. The bomber can't dogfight, and Krieger's too low and too fast to do anything fancy about the fighter on his tail. Inside the F-105, Icepick can taste it. In his head, he is already past the kill. He can see himself walking into the debrief, dropping the gun camera film on the table. The squadron finally gives him a name a man can be proud of. He is writing his own acceptance speech while flying a jet named after the sound of a crash. All he needs is a clean lock and a few seconds of film. Then he is Iceman forever. He pushes in closer, and the bomber fills more of his windscreen. He is almost there, and then the bomber does the one thing Icepick is not ready for. It goes lower. Krieger does not jink, climb, or run. He drops to the deck and goes faster. Like the fighter on his tail is a bug he can outfly. Then the radio crackles, and the two of them actually talk. Icepick keys up first, because of course he does. FB-111, you're mine. Hold still and smile for the camera. Krieger answers the way a dad answers a kid tugging his sleeve in a grocery store. Hold still for what? I'm a little busy. For the kill, this counts. Son, I'm flying the actual mission. You're breaking every rule out here. it still counts. Then go count it somewhere else. To Krieger, Icepick is not a threat. He's just paperwork that hasn't happened yet. Then Krieger ends the conversation the only way that matters. Up ahead, a small mountain range cuts the desert in half, and there's exactly one way through. A narrow slot, just wide enough for a bomber that knows what it's doing. Running straight through that slot is a quiet desert road. Remember the road. Krieger drops into the gap, still flat out, still scraping the deck. He threads a swing-wing bomber through a hole in a mountain, like he had the whole thing laminated on his kneeboard. Icepick follows him in, and as the drop zone comes up, Krieger keys the radio one more time, not as a courtesy, to rub it in. Lieutenant, turn around. Everything on this range is being recorded. You sure you want your loss on tape? Icepick does not turn around. Icepick should have. A straight line was the one trick the Thud had, and a canyon is nothing but corners. The walls rush in. The bomber tucks low, and just like that, it's gone. Icepick's lock, the one that was going to make him Iceman, slides right off and dies. And somewhere in that 1 second, it lands on him. He is not getting the shot. He pulls up, breaks off, and hauls his very fast, very loud jet back out of the canyon. He came out here to make a movie and got 2 seconds of footage of some rocks. Meanwhile, Krieger eases off the throttle. Just a little. He has to drop back under Mach 1.1. Any faster, and the airflow tears his own bomb bay doors clean off, which is the kind of detail they really should print on the box. The doors open. The B-61 drops. It lands dead center on the target. It is an airfield, and the bomb hits right on the X where the 2 runways cross. Pretend nuke. Real X. He could not have placed it better if he had carried it over by hand. Mission complete. Krieger goes home. Now back to Icepick. He lands and climbs out of his jet with an empty gun camera and a rehearsed excuse. His flight lead asks the only question that matters. Where is the film? Icepick opens his mouth and nothing useful comes out. Here's the thing about a fighter squadron. The story always beats you back to the ground. By the time his boots hit the tarmac, everyone already knows. The kid who begged to be Iceman just got outflown by a man who was not even paying attention to him. It gets worse. The same evening, the whole squadron gets called in. Not for a debrief, for a meeting with the brass. Somebody up the chain slides a single sheet of paper onto the table. Nobody in the room knows what it is yet, so here is what nobody saw. Rewind to the gap. A few seconds before Krieger threads it, something is parked on that quiet desert road. It should not be there. The whole area is restricted. The signs literally read "Low Flying Supersonic Aircraft." That is a phrase that should make any reasonable human turn the car around. But a guy got lost. And this is not a guy in a car. This is a guy in a Winnebago, a giant motorhome, parked on a closed road inside a live bombing range, the worst possible place on Earth to pull over for a nap. He never sees the jets coming. A jet that fast and that low does not announce itself. The sound shows up only after the jet is already gone. One moment, it is a quiet desert morning. The next, the air slams into the RV like a truck that forgot to honk. The boom shatters his windows and blows out a door. One man, one motorhome, zero idea what just happened, and suddenly missing several major pieces of his vacation. He climbs out of the wreckage completely fine and completely confused. And then he does the most American thing humanly possible. He files a damage claim against the United States Air Force. That sheet of paper on the table, that is the claim. And remember what Krieger told Icepick? Everything on this range is being recorded. It was. AWACS has the whole range on radar, start to finish. The tracks match exactly one aircraft in that exact spot at that exact minute. Krieger's. So the Air Force cuts the man a check for his windows and his door, about $5,500 for a motorhome that parked itself inside a live bombing range and got exactly the experience the sign promised. Then the squadron does the math. Krieger has a confirmed kill. It is a motorhome. Icepick has 0. The crew chief says it out loud, completely serious. Want me to paint the Winnebago on the fuselage, sir? It's a confirmed kill. A kill marking. For a motorhome on a nuclear bomber. And the whole hangar gets the joke at the exact same moment. The camper is now, technically, a confirmed kill. So the squadron does what squadrons do. They finally give Icepick the new call sign he wanted more than anything in the world. They name him Winnebago, pronounced Winna-Beggar. For the guy who wanted to win and begged for it and came home with neither.